Jerome Tang sets it up, going for the lob! Keyontae Johnson on the receiving end.
I mean, how do you fall asleep on the back line? A.J. Hogard just throws it up and he gets...
This is Keyontae Johnson, a 6'6", 230-pound forward for Kansas State. And up to this point, those are the two most important points he has ever scored. But what if I told you this should have never happened? Let's start from the beginning. Keyontae Johnson was born May 24th, 2000 in Norfolk, Virginia. He started his basketball journey from a young age and played his freshman and sophomore years of high school ball at Norview High School in Norfolk, Virginia. During his time there, he grew from 5'11" as a freshman to 6'3" as a sophomore, and adjusted his game to play above the rim. Ricardo Foster, the now head coach at Norview High School, recalls seeing Johnson develop. You could tell the kid was going to be special. He already had the attributes to be special then. He's a leader, he's a model student, and he comes from a great family. His mother, father, always working, supportive parents. He's just a great kid, said Foster. For his junior season, Keyontae decided to transfer to IMG Academy. The team went 26-3 that season, and he was starting to gain attention. He then decided to transfer high schools again since coach Vince Walden took a job at Arkansas State, and this time he chose Oak Hill Academy. At Oak Hill, he thrived, scoring at least 19 points in 18 of Oak Hill's games that year and averaged 17.6 points per game for the season. Johnson was a sought-after recruit, with ESPN giving him a scout grade of 85 and a 4-star rating, as well as putting him 70th in the top 100. He received offers from many schools such as UConn, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and Texas Tech. But Johnson decided to head to the University of Florida to continue his basketball career. As a freshman at Florida, Johnson stepped right into a key reserve role and eventually earned a starting spot on the team. He appeared in 36 games, starting 20 of them, and averaged 8.1 points, 6.4 rebounds. During the SEC tournament that year, Johnson started to make a name for himself, averaging 14 points and 10 rebounds for the tournament, including a 20.12 rebound performance in the opening round against Arkansas. Johnson was then slated for a larger role in his sophomore season, and he did not disappoint, with averages of 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.2 steals a game, which earned him first-team All-SEC honors. And unfortunately, due to COVID, he was unable to compete in the NCAA tournament since it was canceled. But the sky was the limit for Johnson, who came into his junior year as the preseason favorite for SEC Player of the Year. His season started off great. He was averaging 16 points and 4.5 rebounds for the team's first 4 games, and Florida was set to take on FSU in a rivalry matchup on December 12th, 2020. And that's when everything changed.
We've had a heartbreaking situation here. You see this Florida team in tears. Keyontae Johnson, when they were coming out of that last time out, simply collapsed on the court. We don't have any other details other than that. They have taken him off of the court, and both teams gathering around and trying to gain their wits right now because of the shocking development. Keyontae Johnson is the preseason player of the year in the SEC. And we do not know, medically speaking, what happened to him other than he just collapsed on court coming out of that last timeout.
Here's a quote from Johnson recalling that moment. "I just remember after the alley-oop, they called a timeout. When I was walking out of the timeout, I looked down and everything just went black. That's when I collapsed. I was in a coma for 3 days. And when I woke up, I seen my mom." Johnson's mom also recalled the moment in an interview, saying, "It's probably been the scariest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. I don't really recall my emotions other than I needed to get to my child ASAP. Just praying that he was alive when I got there." Johnson was diagnosed with acute myocarditis, a disorder causing inflammation of the heart muscle that could have fatal consequences such as heart damage or cardiac arrest if left untreated. Johnson was lucky to be alive, and he knew it. But he was determined to suit up and play the game he loved again. Unfortunately for Keyontae, it would have to be somewhere other than the University of Florida, since they would not clear him to play. On senior day in 2022, Johnson was announced as a ceremonial starter for the game, a heartwarming moment for fans everywhere. He received a massive ovation from fans after grabbing the ball off the tip and handing it over to the ref. After the season was over, Johnson chose to bet on himself and turned down the $5 million insurance policy that was offered by the NCAA, and he entered the transfer portal. He received looks from many teams, but he decided to head to Kansas State and linked up with first-year head coach Jerome Tang. Safe to say that betting on himself was the best decision he has made. If Johnson had taken that $5 million, he would have never been able to suit up and try to play again. but at Kansas State, he turned himself into a solid prospect, helping the program to a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament with a record of 26-9. He averaged 17.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.1 steals this year, earning Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, Big 12 All-Newcomer Team, and First Team All-Big 12. And he was named to the All-American Third Team by the AP and NABC. You can't ask much more from someone who's completely out of basketball just 2 years ago. In this NCAA tournament, Johnson has made his presence felt, putting up nearly 18 points a game so far to go along with great defense every night. Whether or not he makes the NBA, you still have to respect the journey he has taken to get back to this point. I'll leave you with a quote from Keyontae. God gave me a second chance. I'm just out here taking advantage of it. Thank you all for watching.